La 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 la, la la. Oh, oh, oh. La 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 la, la la.
That's loud. That was a car.
If every day is just a dream, then who would I wanna be? Today I think I'll be the queen, flying through a time machine. Oh, my, discover what's deep inside. Oh, my, loving everything you find. La 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 la, la la. Oh, 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 la 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 la, la la. Discover what's deep inside. If I woke up in a sky of blue, wondered what I ought to do.
Hi guys, it's Lisa from New Life on the Road. I've answered the homeschooling question that we got on our Facebook page in the previous video. So if you need to know about homeschooling, click on the link below here and go straight there. Now we're moving on. Kayleen said, when traveling, how do you decide when to stop and when do you decide it is a safe town? We decide to stop when we feel like it, when we've had enough traveling basically. We'll go for so far and we'll all look at each other and go, enough, get us out of here. Especially when we're traveling long distances. We've done Mackay to Sunshine Coast to Wollongong basically. We've done that trip before. We've done a trip from Wollongong to Melbourne. So we can go for a couple of hours or happily, and when we start to all get a bit antsy with each other or snappy or thirsty or need a toilet break, that's when we decide to stop and have a toilet break. We both decided on our trip from Wollongong to Melbourne that we had to do for our second son's Navy graduation that we don't like fast travel. We just don't like it. We don't want to do fast travel ever again. We have done that from Queensland to New South Wales in 3 days, and that was awful because we just missed so much along the way. So we've discovered and talked between David and I, and we think 3 to 5 hours maximum per day is our limit for traveling. That's maximum. We prefer 3 hours at the most. Of course, it depends. If we have to be somewhere, then we'll be somewhere. We've never worried about it being safe. I'm not sure how I can answer that question. We don't think about, is this a safe town or not? I just think we're going to stop. We can leave the keys in the motorhome and we can keep going if we ever have to. It's never happened. We've never come across a situation where we've gone, oh, let's get out of here. There was one time in Rocky and we pulled up for the night in a garden, botanical garden sort of setting, and it was a big car park and there was gates originally, but there was no gates there anymore. They were taken away, and David said to me, is this safe? And I'm like, get out of here. We've got our kids with us when we go to the shopping centre. That's all that's important to us, is our kids. Our motorhome's insured, so if something was to happen, then so be it. But nothing's ever happened to our motorhome. Touch wood. Nothing will, because we just don't expect it. So we've never had any issues. David's more security conscious than I am because he's an ex-security guard. But I've just drilled it into him. Get out of here, you'll be fine. Trust me. So we stop when we want to. Don't have to think about safe towns. Rita says, what advice would you give to someone contemplating a life on the road for at least 3 to 5 years? Oh my gosh. That's a huge question. It depends on your circumstances. It depends on your family. It depends on how you're traveling, why you're traveling, where you're going, what do you want to do, how long do you want to travel for each time. I can't really answer all of that. I just don't know. If you sat down and had a coffee with me, Rita, maybe I can answer it for you. I would say plan ahead in regards to finances. If you have a house, rent it out. Don't sell like we did. Rent it out and have that income coming in to keep you going. Work out what kind of vehicle is going to suit your needs. We have a camper van and a motorhome. The camper van was great for our trip to Melbourne, but David and I realized we couldn't live in it full time on the road. We just couldn't. We didn't have enough space between us. I probably could if I was just traveling with me and the kids, 2 kids. I'm pretty flexible with lack of space. But David, he's 6'4". He couldn't fit into the camper van sleeping comfortably. He had to sleep in a tent. There was a lack of space, so we had to have a tent. So we couldn't live in a camper van full time. Originally, when we started living in our motorhome, David had always wanted to travel Australia in a tent. And I'm like, you've married the wrong woman. I couldn't survive in a tent. That was then. That was 3 or 4 years ago. Now, I think I could. Would I want to? I don't know. Probably not for so long a time. Like, if I could go camping for a couple of weeks but come back to the comfort of a bed, I'd be happy that way. I love free camping. So another suggestion I would do is if you're going to go for 3 to 5 years, then make sure you do lots of free camping, because you'll see way more of Australia that way. Depending on the size of your vehicle though, depends where you can go. So it's really a huge question. Yeah, work your finances out. Work out how long you want to stop at each place and just go for it. I can't wait to be leaving here. We can't because of our older son coming back from overseas in the Navy. So as soon as that's sorted, we'll be doing lots more travel. Okay, moving on. Thanks, Rita, for such a great question. Maybe we can have a coffee one time and I can help you out a bit more. John says, what's the worst aspect of your life? Ooh, John. The worst aspect, I'd say sitting still. For me, sitting still for so long. I don't like to sit still for this long. It drives me insane. David knows that I feel that way. He hears me say it quite regularly. The worst aspect is the Groundhog Day feeling of waking up and going, oh, I gotta wash the dishes again, I gotta sweep the floor in the motorhome again, and what am I doing today? Having a coffee at lunchtime. What else am I doing? So I am trying to break that up with more trips out and about and exciting places to see and people to connect with, and keeping active so that I'm not bored while I was sitting still. So I don't think it's the worst aspect. Yeah, I think the worst aspect is sitting still for too long. I don't know about the rest of the family. I'll have to ask them. Thanks, John. Thanks, Rita. And thanks, Kayleen. I'm going to make another video because we've got more questions and this one's getting too long. Thanks, guys. Bye. Already going to frame, and then I'll get some more developed in the next week or so. And then
Oh, this is hilarious. How are we going to help? They're having so much fun.